So let's get started. Good evening, everybody. I'm Monali Dambre, co-team member events, and Sark welcomes to the session of LinkedIn. The topic that would be covered in this session includes content strategy, profile development, LinkedIn search, job and internship search, and much more. The session is going to be really insightful and interactive, so stay tuned till the end. Also, at any point, if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat box and we will have them answered. So, today we have with us Mr. Nikhil Jain and Ms. Ashish Singhal, who will be conducting the session. Nikhil sir is an IIT Bombay alumnus and founder of the platform Foreign Admits. From being gold medalist and a topper to PhD dropout, he has taken a leap of faith towards his passion for enabling the world to have quality education. Ashi ma'am is a personal branding coach and consultant. She is founder of Demystify, the co-founder of Belden and the host of podcast. For 3+ years, she has been working with people across the globe, helping them discover, share their brand story to build their brand. Over to you, Nikhil sir and Ashi ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Ashi, are you there?
Yeah, hi Nikhil, hi everyone.
How are you, Ashi?
I'm good. How are you?
All good. Just as a surprise, I'm in your city currently. Cool. Then I'll basically hand over the session officially to you. You take over, as in when needed. You can bring me into the session. Okay.
Sure. So, can I share my screen if you can, just allow me to, because that will be easier for me. Okay. Good evening, everyone, once again, and let's begin with the session. Are you LinkedIn or left out? So basically, when it comes to LinkedIn, there are three
Ashi.
major parts. So people generally have this misconception that LinkedIn is a job searching platform, but it is not. And that's the reason, when we think that it's a job searching platform, the results, we don't get the desired results. So LinkedIn is all about, it's based on three major pillars. First is branding, second is networking, and third is community building. So in this session, I'll help you understand like how these three pillars, help us get results on LinkedIn, and how can you use them in the similar way like I have been using and many other people using to actually get and create opportunities out of LinkedIn. So first things first, when it comes to LinkedIn or any other social media platform, first thing is how you build your LinkedIn profile, right? Like what to put in there, what not to do, what is the priority order of different sections in a LinkedIn profile. And like I know I have heard it from a lot of people that creating a profile on LinkedIn is like another level task. So we will demystify it, we will simplify it. Let's begin with first of all the overview. So on LinkedIn you have different sections, okay, and I prioritize these sections in this order which is in front of you. So the first priority goes to, of course, your profile picture. Then the second priority goes to your background image. So as you can see in this is a screenshot which I have put here. So that that black banner behind my profile pic, that's called background image, which you can only change through LinkedIn website, not through LinkedIn app. So that's another confusion which many people have, that I'm not able to change my LinkedIn banner. It's because you can only change it through LinkedIn website. The third priority goes to your headline. So as you can see this big red rectangle, the words which are there below your name, they they collectively call as your LinkedIn headline. The fourth priority goes to your about section. So as you can see, down there is a small red rectangle. That's like the about section. We'll cover all of these parts one by one. I'm just giving you here the overview, okay, like what goes first and what goes next. And then the next priority goes to your featured section, which is again a section after your about section, okay, and then comes the rest of the profile. So that's how you give priority to these different sections while you are developing your LinkedIn profile. And before we move forward, please keep it in mind that your LinkedIn profile is not your resume. Please don't mistake it as a resume, because on resume, whatever you write, it's a static, like it's once there, okay, nobody can ever check it out, like the credibility, whichever thing you have written over there, they can't check it out until unless they interview you or ask you directly. But on LinkedIn, whatever you put in your profile can be checked by your activities. Like if you are saying that you are a software engineer or you're a software development intern, something like that. And you have written a lot of things in your profile, a lot of good things. So I can verify that if you are walking that talk or not by checking your activity section on LinkedIn, like the kind of post you are putting, the kind of comments you are doing and all of that stuff. So that's why if we have to, give some similar analogy to a LinkedIn profile, we can call that LinkedIn is a dynamic resume, not that static resume which we have on a piece of paper. Okay. Now let's dive into these sections one by one. So first thing first, profile picture. When you put a profile picture on LinkedIn, please make sure that it's a headshot, not your full portrait, okay, and not some selfie kind of thing. Ask your friend to just click a decent picture of yours where you are in a somewhat casual / professional attire, which can give a very good feel, career smile, so that whoever is landing on your profile, they can be like, okay, they can get a sense of happiness. So that's how you have to keep it. But don't keep it too professional, not smiling, wearing whatever you wish, or just thinking that, okay, who cares, who pays attention to your profile pic. But it happens that your profile pic is the first thing which grabs attention. Even if someone is not landing on your profile, even if you are your profile is just appearing in others feed, there is this small circle which shows your pic. So it has to be attention grabbing, it has to be clear. Okay, I'm not asking you to go for a professional photo shoot or something like that. It's just that it has to be decent. You get my point, right? So that's like the first thing. Now comes the second part, background image. So yes, so this is my background image currently on my profile. I updated it few weeks back only. So a background image is more like a magazine cover page. Just imagine that you are in a store and you see there are a lot of magazines in display. Now either you'll pick a magazine which you already know, okay, or you will pick a magazine whose cover is very appealing to you, right? That's how that magazine will catch your attention. So that's exactly how your background image works. So when someone is landing on your profile, your background image tells a lot about what you do or what's your purpose of using LinkedIn. So that's why you have to use it as a cover page, as if it's like your magazine and your cover page. So first of all, the priority always, and as you'll find out that in every section we try to answer this one basic question of any profile viewer, which is, what's your purpose on LinkedIn? Like if I am you and I are completely strangers and I am checking your profile, the first question which will come across my mind is, what are you doing on LinkedIn? What's your purpose of using LinkedIn? Okay, so try to answer that question through every part of your profile, and that's exactly what we do through our background image as well. So you have to add your LinkedIn purpose. Even if you're looking for a job, even if you're looking for some leads, whatever it is, try to answer that question that, hey, I do this and I'm looking for this. Like in my profile, I have written, demystify your personal brand with me. Instead of blindly pushing content, let's first devise your brand story. That's what I do because I'm a personal branding coach. So that's kind of giving an idea to people like what my work is about. That's exactly how you have to go for it. Putting text is just one of many ways to devise your background image. You can also go for certain images, like for example, if you are a digital marketing expert or someone who is interested in that domain, you can simply put the platforms which you cover, or the strategies which you give, or the kind of services which you provide. Just simply 4 to 5 you can put it over there. If you want to highlight it through some image, like for example, if you provide Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, LinkedIn marketing, then you can put their logos as well. You have to make it appealing. That's the whole idea. So if you are looking for a job, then simply put, like if you are looking for a job as a graphic designer, for example, then you are a graphic, if you are looking for a job as graphic designer, then itself it creates a requirement that your expertise in graphic designing must be visible through your background image, right? So you have to be very thoughtful about it, like how to go for it, how to demonstrate what you know or your skills through your background image. It's that much important. It's not that you can do whatever you wish to, but you have to pay proper attention to it. And other than adding your LinkedIn purpose, you can add some evidences also. Like if someone is public speaking, if that person is into public speaking and they want to get more speaking gigs, they can simply put the screenshots or the past evidences of them speaking in several events as collage or something like that in the background. So that gives an idea that okay, this person knows, he or she has spoken in many events. So that's how you go for it. I hope you are getting the idea behind it. Just drop me thumbs up or down in the chat box, so I'll be able to see that okay, you are understanding what I'm saying. Okay, so this was like about background image. Whatever ideas I just gave you, you can go beyond it. It's not limited to that. Okay, like you can come up with a different format. You can do whatever you want to. It's just that you have to stick it to your LinkedIn purpose. Don't confuse any of your profile viewer with the this question that okay, what are you doing on LinkedIn? Because on LinkedIn, people generally get this perception that many people are here just to hard sell. They are there just to selling their services without even asking other people that if they want it or not. So people have apprehensions when they come across some new profile. And when it comes to graduates, fresh graduates, the same apprehension gets shifted to them looking for some opportunities. So that's the kind of mentality which generally people have on LinkedIn. So your objective should be to clarify that mentality or their questions which they have through your appearance. So that's how you go for background image. Use canva.com if you don't know about this already. canva.com, canva.com, to create your background image. It's a like free website where you can design your LinkedIn banner. Just go there, enter LinkedIn banner in the search bar of Canva. Like you'll get a lot of templates. Just slice dice them, play around with them, add more elements, and make it appropriate according to how you want it to. But don't try to perfect it. Just reach to some point where you can finally put it on your profile. Now coming to next thing, your headline. So headline is again very important, because when you just like Twitter or Instagram, when you see a lot of posts in your feed, right, in your home screen or whatever you call it, when your name is appearing along with your post, your headlines initial characters are visible there. So if I don't know you at all, if I'm but your post is appearing in my feed, then by reading those initial characters of your headline, I can get a good idea about you without even opening your profile, and that acts as a prompt for me to open your profile. So we have to be mindful about how we are going for that profile headline part. That's why I dissect it into two parts. The first is you have to answer this question. Everything is about question and answer on LinkedIn profile, because all of it is about why should I land on your profile, why should I even connect with you, why should I read your content, why should I be interested in knowing you on LinkedIn. All of these things are always in the form of questions. So we try to answer as many questions as we can through our activities on LinkedIn. Similarly, this is what we are doing in our profile headline. So first part goes for what are you looking for, or / what do you do. If you're not looking for anything, or you are already doing something, then that's like the first thing. What are you looking for / what do you do? And the second part goes to how will you, or how are you already adding value. Like I mean, I don't care if you are a like very honest thing. When we are strangers, for me, you are just another person in a crowd. So I don't care if you are the best graphic designer in your institute or in your company, because I don't know you. What I want to know is how will you be able to add value in my work or in my life if I get connected to you. Okay, so always think with that mindset, that no matter how expert you are, how much accomplished you are, you always have to think it in this way, that why that stranger will be interested in working with me or even in connecting with me. So that's the answer which is second part of this headline gives. Okay, Now, just sharing a few nuances of profile headline. So first of all, you get 220 characters limit on, headline. It's not that you can put the whole Ramayana or essay there. You have to be very specific. 220 characters are there, including spaces. Okay. Then the second part is, which is my favorite. So people generally use nouns like, nouns as in I am X, like I am a software developer. Okay. So that's a noun. Like, I mean, okay, software developer, it's again a very broad term. Like, there are like many types of software developers. So you have to be specific. What kind of softwares you develop, what kind of technology stack you use. Okay. So when you, but when you use, action instead of that, action oriented phrases like I develop softwares by using XYZ, and XYZ will be your tag. Okay. Now you are answering two questions through one phrase. What do? You are a software developer. Okay. And the second part, what tech stack do you use? You have specified it also. So, as specific as you can get, more in less. That's the strategy here. Then the second part, third thing can be add domain and target audience. Now, it specifically goes to people who are, doing some side projects, or who are freelancers, or who are, budding entrepreneurs. Like, you must have a target audience for yourself. Like if you are into this e-commerce thing, then you maybe have a target audience, like say, American companies, especially dealing in the domain of say pharmaceutical companies or something like that. You have to have a specific segment of the target audience. You have to specify that in your profile headline. Next thing is, again, provide evidences as much as you can. So let's just see examples. So if you are looking for, say, web development internship, you can simply write looking for web development internships / develop the 3 business websites using your stack. Now here, the first part is answering what are you looking for, right? Like, okay, I'm looking for web development internships. Second part is how will you add value, right? So now you have stated it by giving evidence that, okay, I have developed 3 business websites in the past using XYZ stack, technology stack which you have. So it's telling me that, okay, you know the stuff. You are not just bluffing. You have developed 3 business websites. You have used these stacks. So I know you must be doing something. You are not bluffing. Now compare this thing with the headline where it's simply written, looking for web development internships / available to join in next 2 months or something like that. Many students do it. Now, this is a very, very, very generic or very vague headline. Like, I mean, I don't care when you can join if you are not even able to convince me that I should even consider you to join, right? So take it step by step. First, grab my attention. If I'm a recruiter or if I'm someone who can give you some opportunity, you have to first tell me that, hey, stop. Whatever I'm saying, I know my stuff. I have the proof. And you give that proof right away in your headline. Okay. Second example can be if you are, running a service-oriented startup or something like that. I help startups in building sales funnels. Very specific, a very clear, simple, crisp thing that I help startups in building sales funnels. And then you are giving evidence / you are giving the idea that how can you add value by saying generated 5-figure revenue through sales funnels or something like that, through lead generation, whatever you want to write. So that's how you give evidences. That's how you show people that you know your stuff. Now, if you have to make it more specific, you can mention here, I help marketing startups in building sales funnels. Now you have narrowed down your target audience even more. So I know, like if I am into some non-marketing, field, I will be thinking twice before reaching out to you, because that's not the domain which you cover. And that filters out a lot of unnecessary interaction, or I'll say unnecessary network expansion on LinkedIn when you specify it, ki, hey, I do this or I do that. So that's basically the idea of how you have to go for your profile headline. If you have done some really good internship, say in some FANG company or something like that, then you can mention, a third phrase also saying that X Amazon intern or something like that, whatever it is. If it's really good, if you know that it will add weightage to your profile, then you can definitely add it in your profile headline. Because Remember, the priority is number 3 for profile headline. First goes to your profile page, second to your background image, and third is your headline. So don't think like, okay, I'll talk about it later on in my profile, because if you're not talking about it right away, then how can you be so sure that people will even scroll down to, look or read the rest of your profile? Okay, so that's the idea. Again, give me thumbs up or thumbs down if you are understanding what I'm saying here, because it's quite different from how we create profiles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So let me know, thumbs up or thumbs down if you are getting it or not. Cool. Awesome. Okay, next thing, about section. So about section is like the product description. Okay, you can, if you're writing down the notes, you can write there about section equals to product description, and product here is none other than you. So let's understand it with this analogy that in the market of LinkedIn, every professional who is there, regardless of their purpose, is just a product. They are there to sell their skills, to get hired, or to get some opportunities, or whatever it is. They are basically selling themselves out there. Okay, so about section is more like a product description. Just like on a product we have, ingredients or whatever it is, that's exactly how about section is. For it, you get around 2500 characters limit, so you get like pretty much part to write on. Now, this is like my favorite framework, which I use even for what I say, like CXOs of the companies, you have to answer majorly 3 questions in about section. Again, questions. So you'll find it out again and again that I'm all about questions. So if you're answering proper questions, because these questions run at the back of your profile viewer's head, that and when you address them upfront, they find it very connecting, that hey, I was just thinking about it and this person just answered it. It's just one of the tricks of copywriting, that whatever is going on in your reader's mind, you address it beforehand. Okay, so that's what we are doing here in the about section. So the first thing, what you have to answer, what is your designation, or what is your would-be designation? So if you are, again, just like in the profile headline, if you're looking for some internship, that's like your would-be designation, right? That XYZ intern. Okay, if you already are doing something, then it's gonna be your current designation. So that's how you begin. What do? You answer me that question. Then you say why you do what you do. What is your purpose behind it? Tell me the story. What keeps you going? Why you are a web development intern, not a marketing intern? Why web development? Why? Give me that story. And more you tell me about your story, higher are the chances that I'll be interested in connecting with you. Because again, understand it with the angle of psychology, that when people talk about I do this, okay, I have done this, I have achieved this, so they're basically talking superficially. It's like 90% of people speak. In our resume also, we talk only superficially, that I have done this, I know this, I have received this or that award, blah, blah, blah. It's all superficial. I am asking, go one layer beneath. Why? Why have you, choose this particular designation of yours? Give me your story. And when you give me your story, I find that connection with you, even if we are complete strangers, because you are allowing me to connect to you at a level which is deeper than that superficial thing. Okay, that's a very beautiful aspect of psychology, how we use it in connecting with our readers. You can use the same technique for your content creation on LinkedIn also, but you have to be mindful about it. You have to say what is your purpose. Now you may be thinking, Ashi, come on, I don't know my purpose. I just joined, engineering, or do whatever the reason is. It was very general choice or whatever. I don't know exactly my story, because I am doubtful that my story will be common. That's like the major thing. Let me know, like this is, if this is your query, that okay, I don't have a specific story to share in my about section. If that's the thing, we will address it at the end of this session in the form of question and answer in detail. But many students have this thing that, hey, come on, I'm just like a new person in the college, how can I have a story? So by story, I simply mean just tell me, even if you have concluded that you want to be a web development intern, just because in the past you came across an article on internet while you are just blindly surfing through it, and that caught your attention, and then you thought, hey, I want to explore this thing, what is it? And then you started doing stuff in this, and that can be your story. Very vague story, right? That I just came across an article on internet one day, it caught my attention, and then I started to thinking that, okay, maybe I can do this, and that's how I am here today, that now I am looking for a web development internship. Very vague story, but since it's vague, but not many students are sharing these vague stories. So when you talk about it, you automatically come into that rare section of the people where they are going one layer beneath the superficial part. So that's the thing. Even if it's vague, you have to talk about it, because not many people talk about it. So your ability or your courage to speak about it automatically makes you stand out. Okay, so that can be a very vague story. Like similarly, like that, you can have multiple stories. We have like 196 people here. I'm sure you all have different stories. All you have to do is just write down the phrases on a paper, whatever is coming to your mind. Just go into that flashback, that why am I doing what I'm doing today, and then try to connect the dots. That's the work which it takes to create a about section. And trust me, you don't need to be a writer to do this. You don't need to be a copywriter to do this. It's just that you just know how to write in English. That's it. Okay. The third question is how. You have told me that this is your what, this is your why. Now I'm interested to know, okay, this all makes sense. Now tell me, how exactly will you do it, or how exactly are you doing it? Okay. So if you are saying that you are a web development intern, right? And you have share your story about how you came across an article and blah blah blah, and you became a web development intern. Now tell me how exactly you do that. So you have to tell about your skill set, your experiences, your past projects, that hey, I have done this and that in the past, which gives you an evidence that yes, I am credible in this stuff. Okay, so you have to talk about that. And if it's your beginning thing, like you don't have any internship experience or any project experience, and you are just exploring that stuff, then be real. Just write one line saying that I'm just beginning into this field and I'm all about learning. I'm exploring a lot of things in this, and I would be interested to connect with you if you have the suitable opportunities for me, because I have got that learning appetite. Crystal clear, full stop. That's it. Now you don't have to go for very professional language or something like that. Hey, what if an HR is reading my about section, what he or she will think, that how casual I am? Trust me, no one gives a damn. Like no one. Only people who get the attention on their about section are the ones who are putting regular content on LinkedIn. That's how they get that attention from HRs or other opportunity giving people. Otherwise, people forget you very soon. Okay, so don't take that stress of every word, if I should put it or not. Just be casual, take it easy and go for it. Don't let that hyper professionalism blindfold you, or or to make you do something which is very difficult. Like being someone as if you have tens of years of experience in your domain. If you are trying to talk like that, then I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so that's the thing. And then lastly, you have to add CTA in your about section. So CTA is basically call to action. Like you have told me about your story, everything. Now give me a phrase or give me a sentence which prompts me to connect with you. Like you can simply write, if you have suitable opportunities for me, then please feel free to contact at then your email ID. Or you can write, feel free to email me at your email ID or DM me. Or if you are comfortable in sharing your contact number, you can mention that too. Up to you, totally up to you. Mainly people go for, DM and email wala part. They don't prefer to share contact number, but if you can go for it, there is no as such safety issue there, because many people do that. Okay, so that's like the brief of your about section. Generally, when I go in detail for this about section, it takes like at least 2 hours. That's how, that's the depth which it has. There are a lot of questions, very like, in-depth assessment which we do to find answers to these questions, and then how to blend them in those 2500 characters. So it takes efforts, guys. So come up with the different drafts, but come up with something which answers these questions. And just to give you an idea, I'll highly suggest you that, okay, just go to LinkedIn, explore other students' profile, and you'll find the difference. Why some profiles are so good and why some are average, okay? And why some are like that. You will get your answer by yourself, okay? Yes, featured section, right? So featured section is, this is like a recently added feature on LinkedIn profile. Like recently, I'll say like 6-7 months back. So here what you do is, it's just below your about section. So you can feature as many links, post, articles which you want, because these links or articles or blogs, whatever you feature here, gives a live portfolio to people. Like just again think it with psychological angle, that I have read your headline, I have read your about section. Now I'm getting some idea about what you are saying. Now just at the right moment, you are showing me real tangible evidences that, okay, I have done this, right? You can add your website. If you have portfolio website, you can add that link here. If you have some blogs on Medium, you can add it here. If you have some GitHub repository, you can add it here. So there are multiple options. If you have some podcast, if you have some YouTube channel, whatever it is, right? If you want to drive traction to your Instagram profile, add it here. So it will obviously, automatically create a thumbnail and it will be there. So that's how you use your featured section, where you give tangible evidences that, okay, this is what I know. And you can add as many as you want, but be mindful about the top 3 additions which you do here, because they are visible. For the rest of the featured part, I'll have to click on that arrow, right? So top 3 are visible. So add your best work in your top 3 featured part. Okay, that was for your featured section. The next is like rest of the profile. So I don't give much weightage to rest of the profile as compared to these 4 to 5 sections which we just covered. The reason is pretty clear. Like, if you have to grab a stranger's attention, it can be easily done by featured section. Done and dusted. Like, it's just like that. Because you are talking a lot about what you know and all, and the way you speak about it obviously tells me that you know the thing. You are not just bluffing. And then you are giving me evidences through your featured section. So it's like done and dusted. But again, just to what I say, like complete that formality, or to fill your whole profile, you have to go for this experience section, education section, certifications, skills, recommendations, accomplishments. These are the parts which I would like you to explore by yourself, because again, this is like in depth. So in experience section, you basically talk about the internships or the past projects which you have done. It's like some research projects, right? If you were associated with certain organization, you can simply mention that in your experience section. In experience section, while you are adding description, use bullet points and explain that, okay, this is what I did, this was my technological stack, this is what I learned, these were my responsibilities, and when I left that, this was the impact which I created, right? Like maybe whatever you want to write, like ended up contributing 5 modules of XYZ, like if you are creating a software, whatever, but focus on impact. Like because when you focus on impact, it again gives an evidence that you have added a value, some good value to an organization by being responsible to whatever you were assigned for. Okay, so that's like the rest of the profile part. Now comes the 80% of the game. It was just the 20%. Like your profile was just 20%. The rest 80% of the thing begins from now on. Okay, the first thing, or first and the only thing, active engagement. That's what makes you highlight on LinkedIn. There are many profiles on LinkedIn, which when you read them, you'll find them, oh wow, an outstanding profile. But when you check out the activities, right, there is this activity section there, just above your experience section. So there is this bar which says see all activity. So when you click on it, you can see the post which a person is putting, the kind of comments they are doing, the articles which they have published, every single thing. So this is like, this gives the idea about the person. So about the profiles which I was saying, many profiles are very brilliant when you read them, but when you check their activity section, it's zero, nothing. They are not putting anything out there, so they are not active. It's just a static resume. Okay, it's not dynamic. So that's not what you have to do. Please don't. You have to be active, and it comes from three parts: commenting, content creation, and messaging. So first thing, commenting. Just like any other social media, on LinkedIn, you simply just put comments on post. The bottom line is same. The only thing which is different on LinkedIn is you have to find your target audience. You have to be a bit strategic here. So if you are looking for, say, job in some marketing startup in Bangalore, let's say, let's take this as an example, then what you have to do is just go to LinkedIn search bar. Okay, type the keyword which will give you post or the profiles related to what the kind of opportunity which you are looking for. So if you are looking for some marketing opportunity in some top marketing startup, then hashtag marketing can be a good keyword, right? Or another thing, if you are looking for, say, content marketing, if you are getting specific, then you can put hashtag content marketing. That's what you have to put in the LinkedIn search bar. Okay, hit enter, then you will get many results. Okay, now what you have to do is there will be different tabs above it. Those tabs are basically filters. So filters as in post, people, jobs, companies, filters like it, because there are posts which have used hashtag content marketing. There are profiles which have used somewhere in their about section or experience section somewhere hashtag content marketing. There are company pages which have used hashtag content marketing somewhere. There are job postings which have used hashtag content marketing somewhere. So there are different kind of results. So you have to filter it out by post. Okay, click on the post tab, and now you will get all of the posts which have hashtag content marketing in them. There will be a lot of garbage stuff too, let me tell you, but you have to just focus on picking the right insightful post where you can actually put some good comment. Okay, and by putting more filters there will be a lot of a whole panel of filters. So that's what you have to explore by yourself. Go there, put the location, like okay, we are looking for some startup in Bangalore location, right? If it's related to particular industry, then you can put in over there. If you are looking for certain specific company and you have it already in your mind, then you can type it over there as filter. There is a lot of set of filters which you can use. So put it and then hit enter. You will get post, you will get profiles of people. Now there are two ways: either you can directly comment on those posts, right, or you can open those profiles, go to their activity section, pick the post of that particular profile and put comments there. Yes, you have to put in this kind of effort. Don't think this is too much. I know this is too much, this sounds too much, but this is that strategy which actually helps students to get opportunities. Okay, so that's what you have to do. Now when it comes to putting insightful comments, what do I mean by that? So a common comment is, good post, I like your thought process. Okay, congratulations for this amazing post, or I like reading this post of yours, something like that. It's very specific. It's not adding an insight to what has been already written in the post by the author. Okay, so I'll give you a short process, a step-by-step framework, or whatever you like to say it, which will help you to put insightful comments. And I can understand that if you are just beginning on LinkedIn, you may have this hesitation of, I don't know what kind of tone should I use. I don't know if, unknowingly, if I may, offend someone, because they all are professionals. I am just beginning. First of all, put aside all of those doubts and hear me out. All you have to do is read a post. Okay. Now, while you are done reading that post, ask yourself that what is that specific part in that post which you like the most. Okay. So let's say there is some particular line written in that post and you liked it the most, like, okay, wow, this resonated with me. So just copy paste that line, put it in your comment, and then explain after it that why did you like that line? Why exactly that line, not other 10 lines? Why that line? If you have chosen that line, then there must be something, right? You may have liked the way they have used the words in that line, or you may have liked the meaning, okay, which that line is providing. Whatever it is, just simply write that hey, I like the way you explained the influence of leaders in a company. I totally resonate with you. I think this should be more common. This is, if not a very insightful comment, then it's again, it's showing that you have actually read the post and you have put in the efforts to write a comment, right? Now just imagine if someone is putting a simple comment, I like your post, thank you for writing it, thank you for sharing it, something like that. It's again, it's very vague. It's not that if I am a post author, right, it's not telling me exactly that what did you like in my post. And if I am writing something, trust me, it goes with every post author out there, that they love it when someone gives them a detailed explanation of what they liked in my content. Okay. So that's exactly what you have to give them, your valuable feedback or whatever you like the most. Okay. That's like one of the many ways of writing an insightful comment. Now another thing is like, uh, you may have different opinions many times, like you may not agreeing with whatever is written in the post. Then it's a good way that you have to express your disagreement, but do it in a very polite manner, right? You can simply write, hey, thank you for sharing your thoughts, but I respectfully disagree, and then explain what's your point. And when you are saying it, right, it is not offending anyone, right? And if anyone still gets offended, then that's on them. Like, I mean, that you haven't used any kind of language which will offend someone. Okay, so don't worry about it. So I'll give you a example, like, my story. So I began using LinkedIn in May 2017, when I was like, ending my second year of college. So I graduated in 2019. Okay, so I'm CS engineer by degree, but I'm doing something totally opposite to what my degree says. Okay, so I started in that time just to get some internships in data analytics. That's what my used to be my interest. Okay, and I started out in LinkedIn just to find those internships, but I never knew that it will change my life in multiple ways. So I started using it, and initially I used to be very fearful of what to write. I was like, I started in May, but I put my first post, I still remember, in around Diwali of 2017, around October, like 5 to 6 months after I started getting active there. So what I did in those 5 months was I used to observe a lot, like how people are talking there. And I was never a social media person, was not active on Facebook. I joined Instagram in 2018 itself. So, I was not active anywhere. So for me, it was a whole different territory. So I figured out that people are very casual here. Like, they just share what they want to share. It's not that, they are being very pushy or professional. They are just natural. And that's what I started doing. In the beginning 5 months, I still remember that I used to take an hour to just write one insightful comment. And my comments used to be very long. Gradually, at that time, people started recognizing me as someone who writes long comments. Okay, that's what I used to do. And while I used to write those comments, I used to be very fearful that I don't know if I should include this line or not. What if that person gets offended? And just to recheck myself, I used to, check their profile and the way they put comments on others' posts, so I can get the flair that okay, that's how they speak and all. A lot of background research. And there were times when my comments started getting more traction than the post itself. So you put likes on post, right? You can put likes on comments also. So with me, it started happening that I used to get more likes on my comments as compared to the post itself. And from there, I started expanding my network globally. Like people started messaging me, even HRs, that okay, we have read that comment of yours, and it was unexpected to come from just a third year or second year student. So that's how you stand out. I mean, not many people are doing it. So when you start to do it, it automatically puts you in a category which is different. Okay, no matter whatever your hesitation is, because if you have hesitation, that's completely fine. Completely, don't be very shameful of it or something like, hey, I shouldn't have it. Why am I self-doubting? Why do I have a lot of doubts in my head? Why I'm not confident and all of that shit? Because that's very common. All you have to do is just act, go beyond that fear and put that comment. And for me, those 5 months of rigorously commenting gave me that confidence that finally I put a post around October. And from there, I have been writing and writing and writing. That's what's been going on. But if I have to pick one activity, main activity, which helped me gain confidence on LinkedIn is commenting. Okay. So that's what I'm asking you guys to do. Initially, if you're afraid of putting out posts, completely fine. Take it step by step. Start putting comments on others' posts. Okay. Just go to LinkedIn search bar, search out the, useful post and put your thoughts out there, and then just see what happens. Okay. Next thing, like yes, before we move on to content creation, one more point about commenting. So many times what happens is while, let's say, you don't know how to how to begin conversation with someone through messages on LinkedIn. It happens a lot of times. We don't have a point that why should I send a message to this stranger? I don't know. I don't have a reason to begin conversation with them. All you have to do is just go to their profile. Like, for example, if you have to connect with me and you don't have a reason to begin a conversation with me, right? You just go to my profile, check out my activity feed, pick a post by me and put a comment over there. And then you message me saying that, hey, I just read one of your posts. I found it insightful. I recently shared my thoughts on your post as well. You can share the post link also so that I can get an idea which post you are talking about. And then, that's how you can ask me a question that, hey, okay, tell me about this. What do you think about blah, blah, blah? Something related to that post. And that's how you begin a conversation. It shows your curiosity. Okay. It shows that you have put in the efforts. Now, I'm not foolish that I don't realize that you did it purposely to begin a conversation with me, but I am still appreciating that thought process that, okay, you at least put in that effort, because people don't do it. Okay. So that's how you create a reason and then you pursue that reason. Okay. So that's like one of the many hacks which have helped me personally, because, that's how, I have been talking to a lot of great people on LinkedIn and it works. Also, when you send a connection invite on LinkedIn to someone, always send a personalized connection invite. Now, there are two features on LinkedIn. First is simply, just like Facebook, you send that connect, click on that connect thing, and it sends a connection request to the other person. Personalized connection invites are more than that. You have to click on that small arrow across this connect button. It says send personalized invite. So in personalized invite, you are basically sending the reason along with your connection request that why you are willing to connect with that person. It's like someone is knocking your door, complete stranger. When you open the door, the person is standing there saying nothing, that why did they knock the door? So that will be irritating, right? But when you have a personalized invite, that shows that, okay, the other person has a reason to connect with you. So again, if you don't have a reason, just create that reason. Go to their post section, do that stuff, and then refer to it while connecting with them. That's like another hack which you can use. Okay, now moving on to content creation. So content creation on LinkedIn, there are two kind of content which you can put: post and article. So article are long form, post are basically 1300 characters across 200 to 225 word limit, right? So if you have to put something long, go for article. But I don't recommend going for articles in the beginning. Instead, I suggest people to just edit their content piece to limit it in 1300 characters, because naturally LinkedIn articles don't get much traction on LinkedIn, especially when you are just beginning out. So go for post, and just to remain visible on LinkedIn, put at least one post in every 3 days. Try to do it. But if you are beginning again, first step is to put at least one post in a week, and then you can just decrease the time period, that okay, now you're putting one post in every 4 days, 3 days, 2 days. Okay, that's how you go for it. Again, it creates a live portfolio. Now if I'm talking about all the personal branding stuff which I do, or all the invitations which I have got on my LinkedIn profile, but I'm not talking anything about my knowledge through my post, then people will think I'm bluffing, and that's not what I want them to think. So what I do is I share my branding knowledge, or the way I think and all of that stuff through my content. So that helps people to understand the kind of person I am, or my knowledge and all of that stuff. So it builds a live portfolio, and it helps me to add value in other people's life for free. Like even if they are not from my target audience, I know that they are reading it. Okay, so that's the content creation part. Some more tips for you, because this is like a very edgy thing for many people. So first thing, speak with your heart. Whatever you want to put out, just go for it. If you want to share about any of your first year experience, the first event which you organized, the first time you got punishment from your professor, or anything, just share about it casually. And because you are sharing these casual stories instead of being too professional, that's the reason why you'll stand out. Again and again, I'm emphasizing on this point, because it's that much important. You have to be human, not just professional on LinkedIn. Second tip is, it's about your readers, not always about you. So if you are looking for a job in, say, marketing, then talk about something related to marketing, so that it can show that you know marketing stuff. Okay. Another thing is, don't always talk about marketing. That's contradictory, but it's true. Always divide your content strategy in a ratio. Let's say if you are putting 5 posts, like say in 10 days, then go for 3 posts which are around your marketing stuff, because you want that opportunity. Go for 2 posts which are generalized, where you are sharing some personal life experiences or anything, right, which is beyond your profession. Now that's how you create a T-shaped network. Okay, so that horizontal line, that T which we have, that is by your generalized content, which is not just related to marketing, it's general. Okay, and that T, that vertical line in T, it gets created by your specific domain related content, where you are talking about marketing. So that's how you create T-shaped network. And a T-shaped network is very, very effective. Okay, it's just that you have the depth in your domain, but you are also diversified. So focus on that. Okay, then general tips are, use you, your, we, this kind of pronouns in your content. Don't always talk about I. It's about, you have to take people together. Okay, then next thing is, what you think is not good for your readers may be the best for them. So we have this again doubt in our head: who will read this kind of post? What will they find useful from it? All of these questions, subside them, because if you are not putting out any content, and if you're not getting any feedback from it, you will never ever be able to conclude that okay, this is fine or not. Okay, so put whatever you want to put. Then next is, use enough white spaces. This is like, gone are the times when we used to write long paragraphs. go for one liner, line, then a line break, again a line break, like that. Use bullet points as much as you can. Break long paragraphs into the short ones, and it goes for not just your content but your profile also, while you're creating your about section or your experience section, whatever the part is where you have to put in the text. Don't go for bulk, break it down. Okay, then use general hashtags. You can use 5 to 10 hashtags, no problem in that. Keep them relatable to your content. Okay, don't use too many emojis. You can use like 2 to 3 emojis, that's fine. But don't add emoji after every line. That's very interrupting while someone is reading your post. Okay, and yes, avoid difficult vocabulary. You have to keep it relatable. You have to show people your knowledge so that they can understand it. So do it in a very simple language. Okay, these are some content ideas. You can take a screenshot of this slide. So as you can notice, these content ideas are related to your day-to-day activities. Like, these are not very what I say, like very well thought or something like that. It's just that it shows whatever the efforts you have made in your career, or your thought process behind your day-to-day life, like your first project, your favorite trend in your domain of interest, your learnings from past internships and assignments, your analysis for something recent or trending going on. You can pick some case study from Google. You can show your views. You can dissect it. You can show people why is it important, all of that thing. The biggest challenge which you are facing in your career, you can simply ask people. Put a question on LinkedIn that this is my current dilemma. I would love to know your views. Just like many people do it on Twitter, right? They just simply put a question and wait for people to respond. So that's something which you can do on LinkedIn as well. And yes, talk about your failures and successes. Don't just talk about successes, include failures, that how you failed that exam, how you got punished for doing X, Y, Z, or talk about some high school experiences, something which literally makes people interested in knowing you. If you're just talking about marketing, projects, career and all, that will become boring after a certain period of time, and you don't have to do it. Okay. And yes, a video resume, that's like a wonderful thing. LinkedIn has video format, text format, pic format, GIF format, a carousel kind of format. So there are a lot of formats. Use them. Okay. Put a video resume. That's very trendy. So people do that. Students do that. They simply record, let's say, 45 to 60-second video resume, and they put it over there, and that actually works. Okay, so these are like a few of many content ideas. I hope you are getting some idea. Drop me a thumbs up or thumbs down if this content idea thing is making sense or not. Awesome. Okay, the last part of the active engagement, or the 80% of the game which we were talking about, is messaging, and it's the scariest one. Like how to connect with an HR of Amazon. Like what should I say to them? Like, and the funny part is we being as students, when we are beginning out, okay, we think that the person on the other side, right, to whoever we are sending the messages, they are ready to judge us. That's what we think, that they are going to judge us. Whatever we write, they will be like, oh, he has written this, that means he is this. Okay, this kind of judgment. It goes on and on in our mind, but that doesn't happen, because people don't care as much as you think they do. Okay, because inherently all of us care about what's in it for me. Why should I even pursue this conversation? Why should I even attend this webinar? Why should I even listen to Ashi right now? Always in every activity, we have this question, what's in it for me? So when you are sending a message to someone, the other person also has this question in their mind, no matter what that, or what that person does, or whoever that is, they have this question, what's in it for me to even reply to this conversation? You may be thinking that sounds very transactional, right? But it's true that the transaction need not to be an opportunity exchange or something like that. That transaction can be as simple as having that conversation in an interesting way. Okay, it can be anything, like your message making someone else smile or curious or interested in what you are saying. It's all about that. So that's like the messaging's objective. Okay, the structure goes simply like this: salutation, reason, and with an open-ended question. So salutation is how you are addressing someone. You can simply address people by their first name. That's too common now in India also. But if you are hesitant, use sir or ma'am. But please, please, please don't use that sir oblique ma'am. You are obviously reading person's profile, so you know it's sir or ma'am. Okay. If you are really confused, what should I do? Just go for their first name. That's completely fine. Then comes the reason again. Knock knock, you are knocking their door, you have to have a reason why you are connecting with them. Now in the first message itself, you can't send them, hey, I'm looking for this opportunity, this is my resume, sir, looking forward to hear back from you, blah blah blah. Why would that sir be interested in looking at your resume? If especially they are in HR, they must be getting hundreds of those resumes daily. So that's a big no. Don't ever do that. Instead, go to their profile, okay, read their content. If they are putting some content, even Google about them, do some research about that company, if not about them individually. Then pick something specific from there to begin your conversation. You can simply ask, for example, there is a company where you are looking for some opportunity and you are connecting with their HR. So you don't have any reason to begin a conversation because you are unable to find anything specific to that person. So instead, search about their company if they have something specific. And you can simply mention, hey, whatever the salutation is, I just came across your website and I really liked our team section of your website where you have shown those happy pictures of your team. I really liked it. That's the reason. You are understanding how simple it is. But you have a reason, and it's again showing me that okay, you have made the efforts to go through my company's website and to pick something from there. And just think, how many HRs or how many people receive that kind of message? They don't. And when you are putting that kind of message, that's like double thumbs up. So that's the reason which you can use. And then to keep the conversation ongoing, and it with an open-ended question. Now, what is an open-ended question? There are two types of questions, close-ended and open-ended. So close-ended questions are basically where I can answer in one word. So if you are asking me, Ashi, do you live in Jaipur? I'll simply say yes. So there is not something which will prompt me to ask you another question, okay? So this is close-end, dead end. So ask me some open-ended question like, what do you think about XYZ, right? So if you have mentioned that happy pictures wala part in your reason, you can end this question with what do you think makes your company culture stand out from others? That's like a very specific yet professional question. You are asking the person about their company's culture. Okay, so that's like an open-ended question that will be like the chances are much higher that the person will respond. If they are not responding, then please wait for 24 to 48 hours and then do a follow-up. And please, there is a particular method to follow up. Okay, it's not that question mark, hi, blah, blah, blah. No, be specific that, hey, did you get the chance to read my message? Something like that. Make it subtle. Don't be like very abrupt, because you don't owe them anything, neither they owe you anything. Like it's not that they have to compulsorily reply to your message even if they have read it. Okay, it may hurt definitely that I researched for 1 hour to find a reason to send this message to this person. They have seen it and they have ignored it. It will hurt a lot, but that's what it takes. Networking, that's the effort it takes. So make it a rule, like daily I'll put 5 comments. I'll send 1 message to a stranger and I'll see how it goes for next 30 days. That's like the LinkedIn plan which you can create. There are a lot of things. Okay, next thing is like there are voice message feature on messaging, LinkedIn messaging. You can use them too. So simply because when we are using our voice or showing our face, that creates connection quite quickly, right? So use voice message and send them that. Along with it, mention in text briefly like what you are talking about in that text message, so that they can get some reference and they can listen to it, right? And if you simply want to, start building that connection where you don't have anything specific to ask, but you just want to keep that connection going, you can share resources which you find can be helpful to the other person. Like if I'm in personal branding, you can, if you want to connect with me, you can simply share, some personal branding case studies with me, thinking that it may be helpful for me, right? That's like share any kind of courses which you have if you find that okay, the other person will find it beneficial. So that's how you create value. Okay, there are a lot of ways, it's just like one of many. You have to use your mind, you have to observe how other people are doing it, and then include it in your strategy. And yes, that's like the opportunities hunt formula for you: comments, content, and messages. As you can see, I have not included LinkedIn profile here because LinkedIn profile is more like a room with 4 walls, 1 floor and ceiling, with no windows and doors. That's a LinkedIn profile. You create the windows and doors there by your activities, which is comments, messages, content. So that's why the opportunities hunts formula goes to these 3 parts, not to your LinkedIn profile. Okay. And lastly, this is like my LinkedIn mantra, which has helped me each and every time: consistency beats perfection, period. You can put 70% qualitative post, like it's just not perfect, it has just 70% quality. It's always better to put 3 of such 70% post in a week than to putting 100% quality post. It's about consistency. More you appear in people's feed, more they will be able to know you, and that's the whole game. So thank you very much, guys, for listening to me patiently. And like this is like you can connect with me on LinkedIn. This is the QR code of my LinkedIn profile. I also, I have a podcast named Demystifying LinkedIn. You can find it on Spotify or any other podcasting platform. So it has 34 episodes all around LinkedIn branding, networking for students, how to use it and everything. Okay. So yeah, so thank you.
Oh God, this was like mind blowing. I think I've spent 12 years and I have seen Ashi growing from as a student to a expert, and I'm blown off. I'm not sure about you guys, but at least I learned 5 to 7 things out of this workshop myself also. Yes, absolutely. And this is a
Thank
very
you, Nikhil.
structured way of learning, Ashi. And you've been a great coach. I've seen you personally, but never attended your session. I might pay a $1,000 to attend this, and this is like still less. This is really good. Uh, Guys, so if you have any questions, get them in. Okay, LinkedIn Premium. Ashi, you want to take it?
Sure. LinkedIn Premium, as a student, please don't go for it. It doesn't add anything. It's just that people think that it will make them more visible and all, but it doesn't happen. Use your basic, the free version to the full potential. I'm currently using free version also. So don't go for it.
Yes, any other guys has any questions? Okay, please check the previous comments. Okay. Guys, there's so many comments we kind of might have missed out some questions. Care to please write it again, because okay, this is the thing I was searching for, is making my own blog. Okay. Yes, do blogging. Trust me, I would tell you a very interesting story. I got a US internship in my 3rd year because I curated someone's blog and I gave appropriate credit and I just shared it on my blog. Okay. Though it's not completely ethical, but if you get a permission from the author, do it. If the content is really good, I got like 150,000 views in 3 or 4 days, and I got my first US paid internship. So yes, creating valuable content is really important. Okay, how to build a profile for 2 areas of liking. Okay. Uh, Ashi, you want to take it?
Sure. So when it comes to 2 areas, you again have to divide or split the strategy into 2 parts. Like, I mean, but again, you have to prioritize. Like I have an example. Like, so a student reached out to me last year, he was willing to build his career in as a stand-up comedian, and along with it, but it was a long shot. So he was like, currently I want to earn money, so I'm into website developments and all. So now you just tell me, how do I balance it on LinkedIn? Because I have been seeing a lot of stand-up comedians, building their presence on LinkedIn. So after assessing his situation, the point was clear that for him the priority was to get some web development kind of opportunity. So we kept it as number one, and the number two was being a stand-up comedian. So that's how, then you build all of your strategy, your content strategy. Then you focus more on getting those internships, right? Which I said that you have to split your content strategy. So focus more on that, and those generalized post, you can talk about your stand up post where you are showing those stand up comedian skills, right? So it's like one of the many examples. So that's how you have to go for it. You can also mention the same in your profile, that you are looking for this internship, but you do this as your passion. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The other questions. Okay, there are so many questions. Let me quickly figure out what are the questions we have. How to plan if I plan for a job opportunities after 2 years? Okay, let me give you quick insights on this because I did this in my third year. Simply connect. And again, it's a psychological thing. A lot of people in India, and you would see this and agree to this. If I send a hi to a random stranger, the first thing that would come into the random stranger in India is, what does this guy want from me? Okay.
Absolutely.
So connect to the person and just say hi and talk about what they have done and what have you observed in their profile, and probably if you find anything interesting, give them a remark. That goes in their memory for a long, long way, rather than you texting at the very dire need, sir, I
Yeah.
need an
Yeah.
internship.
Yeah.
I'm really good. You might be really good. And if the person is not desperately looking for it, he will not entertain you
Yeah.
because you reached out to them when you needed them. So the world is selfish. You got to appreciate people, you got to build a connect, and then people would be really open to talk to you, honestly. And I would give a simple analogy is, consider LinkedIn or any other social media platform just like a regular world. You're walking on the street just like you're browsing the feed.
Yep.
Someone texts you is like someone comes to you across the street.
Mm-hmm.
And if that someone comes to you across the street and asks you, hey Ashi or hey Nikhil, I need a job, I really need this, I'm really good at this, would you be able to trust that in the first place? So that is the analogy I followed, and it really makes sense for me
Absolutely.
and for a lot of people. So if you build that connect slowly, it would really give you a much better value. Okay.
Yeah.
Rather than just scooping the value out in the first
And then
place.
I'll like to add one more point here. People generally think that adding that value always means to give something tangible to the other person, like
Yes.
some opportunity or some collaboration thing or whatever. I believe that that can be as simple as making the other person smile. That also works many times. It's just that, okay, you said something or you shared something which made them smile, or which made them interested in talking to you. That's also enough.
Yep. And one interesting question: does LinkedIn profile for a fresher makes any sense? Um, Ashi, it's a very trivial question. I could answer it, but I would want you because again, you come from that age group. Let them understand.
Yeah. Okay. So why not? I mean, I have mentored high school students on LinkedIn, like, to help them build their profile. Now just think, they are high school, they are still in their 11, 12 standards, they are not even in their colleges, right? So it always makes sense, because see, you are using LinkedIn to build your network. Get that very clear. You are not using LinkedIn just to get an opportunity. It's just a part of building a network. And building a network is long term. Today, tomorrow, after 5 years, I'm sure Nikhil can vouch for this. Network goes for long. It's not just that today you need an opportunity, so you start to build it today. It's like just growing a tree. You have to do it sooner than you want the results. Okay. So absolutely go for it. Even if you don't have anything to put on your profile, no projects and all, just to show how curious you are to learn. That's also enough. That you are just here to explore.
Yes, guys, I belong to IIT Bombay fraternity. So what I can tell you is IIT Bombay Alumni Network is really helpful. Okay. Not to give you a very, broad perspective, we got our funding because of good LinkedIn Connect. I got my two crowdfunded things done because of good LinkedIn reputation that I've created. So reputation building is very, very critical. If you build a bad reputation by commenting not so good things on other people profile, trust me, LinkedIn has that kind of a thing that I can see what you have commented because it might pop up in one of the connections feed.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
be careful about what you are dealing with, what kind of comments are you making in public domain. That basically reflects and it also gives a reference check. Because I might have seen you have done some wrong comments and some recruiter might be hiring and might be asking, hey, he's from IT Bombay. Do you know this guy? Then it would not come as a positive outcome. So be very careful in the social media. Often as a fresher, we just type random things in frustration or in different moods, but that should not be done. And that's a
yeah.
big differentiator you got to create for yourself.
You have to be
And
mindful why you are doing what you are doing.
absolutely. So if someone has experience in the core domain, now want to change the profile, don't have experience in the new domain, what should he do in the about section?
Okay, in about section, yes. So since you are looking for a new thing, so focus more on that new thing that you are looking for in the beginning part. But since you have already done something in that previous domain, also include it at the last or somewhere, while you are answering that question to how or the why part. So it can be a good story for you that, hey, I begin in that. I'm not switching to this. Why and why you are doing it and all. So that's how you can build your about section. But mentioning about your past domain, even if it's totally opposite to what you are looking for right now, shows that you have done some work. You are not a naive person or you are not an inexperienced person. You are just new to this domain, but you have certain kind of experience in the previous one. So for that, mention it. And but yes, of course, focus more on the current one because you are looking for opportunities in that.
Clear. Okay. Landed two job interviews in several. Yes, Aditya. Yes, simple high works. Broad idea what to do further without domain experience. Okay, if you have a broad idea what we want to do in our future without a domain experience, how do we use LinkedIn to probably brand ourselves? Hmm, that's interesting. Uh, I would say like if you have a broad idea, better first do a basic reading because the last thing that any of the wise or the knowledgeable people on LinkedIn would want you is writing those airy dust articles, okay, with very vague idea. It's
Yeah.
good to write, but it's not so good to write anything, okay. You should start writing. Ideally, when I started writing, I had grammatical mistakes. Frankly, grammatical mistakes are still okay to some extent, but the write up or the quality has to be really good,
Yeah.
okay. And if you're starting to write, you can write basic stuffs also. There's
Mhm.
no hardships on that. Just don't expect that your post is going to rank like 1,000, 20,000 likes in day one. And I am one of the live testimony to this. I lost a 60,000 kind of a follower profile and I started from zero. 10 years on
Uh,
LinkedIn, 60,000 followers, came back to zero, and then again started, and now I think at 6,000. But numbers doesn't matter because till date, none of my posts got like 100 or 200 likes. It didn't matter because what my KPI was, is it creating a value for the other user? Am I getting messages based on the content? Am I getting shares based on the content? Are people sharing my content? Because for me, that was the thing. Are people, profiles after profile, when I get messages, hey, I'm being following your content from a while, it gives me a validation. Yes, this
yeah.
content is working. You would start getting those messages if you are consistent. If you're
Hmm.
doing 1 or 2 day a week and then forgetting about it, then it would again drop down. LinkedIn is harsh on that. So I'll just give you a funny live story. One of my content is killing it, honestly, and it has crossed all of my previous metrics like 200,000 views and all. Did I expect that? No. It was a genuine conversation content which I had with a student and I just posted it. So if you are posting something which you feel genuinely that's going to add value, trust me, organically you would rank at a much higher rate than most other people. Facebook and LinkedIn,
Absolutely.
there's a big difference. And this is the major difference, organic outreach. What kind of people should I connect before I have gained any experience or chosen a specific domain? Okay. Mm,
I just got an analogy for this one. It's gonna be a funny thing. Okay, so sometimes we just go for window shopping, right? We don't know what we want. We just go into the malls and we just enter different shops and we are just checking out the random stuff, right? We don't have anything in mind. And then after some days and all, then we think, yeah, I saw it at that time. I think now I should buy it and all of that stuff. That's exactly what goes on LinkedIn. I mean, you don't know what you want right now. So just go for window shopping on LinkedIn. Like connect with different people, try to know their experiences, talk to them. And that's like the best way to help you practice, that comfort in talking with others so that you can break that hesitation. So yes, it will definitely help you. So don't create any criteria. Just try to connect with people, whatever. And initially your LinkedIn feed will be very haphazard. There won't be any specific kind of content. That's why it's your responsibility to make it as per your interest. That's why I use LinkedIn search bar. Engage with the kind of post which you like to, so that LinkedIn algorithms will pick that thing, and gradually your feed will start to get synchronized according to your interest. So that's how then more and more you get the kind of content which you like to read. More and more you'll get the idea that okay, I should connect with this person. So that's the drill.
got it. Okay. Yeah, ideally, like technically, if you want to go like 500 people, no one's gonna see that. But be careful in whom you are adding and what kind of posts are you following, because ultimately everything is algorithm based.
Yeah.
If you are liking, commenting, and following the people with negativity, you would see those kinds of feeds.
Hmm.
So create a
Absolutely.
rich feed, I would recommend, because long run it would be difficult to unfollow those people which you might have subconsciously just liked and followed. Be very careful in what you're liking it. And I'm learning this in my second round of LinkedIn profile. You got to be very careful of what kind of people you want to surround yourself, what kind of feed you want to have. Because if you're learning, if you're spending more time on LinkedIn, ideally you're learning from what the content LinkedIn is providing.
Yeah.
And trust me, not every content is worth reading also, and not every content is going to be worth following. So be that ITB guy who has a proper lens of research to accept what is true and what is not true also. And that's something as an
Much
alumni
needed.
to alumni I'm telling you. Alumni to alumni matter I'm telling you. Because not everything on LinkedIn is going to be like a validated content. Okay. So don't trust whatever you all see on. Have a little bit of rational research to do it. To check or verify the things before you accept or agree on this. Okay, I've not explored much as Insti has not started for me physically, but in my side, I want internship opportunities in those fields, like in some consultancy, one in core, one in finance. You have listed down so many specifics. I understand you're a very good IDB aspirant, but don't list out so many things. First, focus on what do you want to achieve in the next 6 to 12 months. Are your grades good enough for your internship? Do you have anything to offer to the consulting company so that they're gonna hire you? That's a very typical hiring thing. You think you're gonna get an internship, but the consulting company also think, what am I getting out of this candidate? So it's all about what's in it for me. If you answer for them, what's in it for them, you are hired. Most
Right.
of the times.
Yeah.
So that's something you gotta follow. Okay.
And one more thing, many times you have to make them realize, you have to create the demand, even if there isn't. Like, some opportunity in an organization, especially in startups, they may not find it that, okay, they have to have this position open. You have to reach out to them with evidences, with your research that, hey, you need this position, you need someone to work on this particular task. That's called creating a requirement and then fulfilling that requirement with your skills. That's like another outlier. I mean, people don't go for that, so you can definitely
True.
leverage it.
we recently hired one intern who just texted us and showed that this is what you can do. I'm not sure why you guys are not doing it. He said, exciting, join us and help us do it. And she's just going to work with us probably next week. And even I got my internship because of that curated content, right? And I just shared to the person in the US that this is what is lacking in your social media, and these are the things that you can do. So probably doing that extra bit of hard work and sharing them your perspective would really add a big value. You may or may not get internship, but you would always be in the good books of those people.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Okay, guys. Okay. Any content ideas for freshies? Yeah. Tips and tricks, hacks, and all. What kind of content the freshies can post?
A lot of content. I mean, there is no specific thumb rule like कि यही post करना है or you should go for this or that only. As I said, no, talk about your skills. I mean, don't just post about the certifications which you have, got, like the screenshots shots of them. That's like very weird. Instead of that, just to share what specifically you learned. That's like making other people recognize that you are more about learning, not just showing those certificates, because they actually don't matter as long as you can show that you have this kind of a skill. So your certificate won't lend you or won't open that window of opportunity for you. Instead, your learnings which you can take out of it and you can show to people, that will definitely open that window for you. So focus on the learning part. Again, always ask what's in it for the other person, what can be. If there is not anything, if the other person don't even know that there is something in it for them, it's your job to make them realize that yes, dude, this is for you, this is the value which you can get. Okay, so that's about that mindset.
Absolutely. I think one interesting thing on the last closing comment that you can learn is, you know, stand out, try to stand out. What
Yeah.
people are conventionally doing is what
Yeah.
Ashish said. It's just sharing the PDF or the copies of the certificate. What you can do better. And again, think from the audience perspective. If the
Yeah.
audience is learning from you, that means you're knowledgeable enough.
Absolutely.
And in this era, content creators are actually perceived more knowledgeable
Yeah.
than the knowledgeable person itself in the first place.
Yeah.
So if you're creating good content, if you're creating content which is going to help, that's what people need. They don't they will not think of you as a 18-year-old kid or 20-year-old kid. One of your, I think, senior, I think Kalpit Veerwal, who got into LinkedIn Top Voice, what he does is basically create content from his life, from his job, from his IIT lifestyle and all of these things. What you observe, you can also infer from it and share your thoughts. I was talking to this person, this is what regular IITB thinks, you know but these are the things that we also go through that you may not be aware of. What is the life of an IITB first year guy? Trust me, millions of people might be interested to know IITB first year guy,
Let me
what he
tell you,
goes through.
I am as a non IITB student, I know I am. So even you have to speak about even the events which you guys have, the Mood Indigo and all of that stuff. Talk about that, like what the fun you have in all of that thing.
Yep, absolutely. And also talk about the first month attendance where you don't have to miss the classes, else you get a lot of disciplinary action. So there's so many interesting things, guys. So I think this is it for the session. Ashi is approachable on LinkedIn. Even I'm approachable on LinkedIn. Reach out to us. If you have any questions, you can always reach out. Follow the tactics that Ashi told how to reach out. Would be more impressed if you reach out in that fashion. And yeah, I think that would be the end of the session. And again, Ashi, thanks for the session. I really enjoyed it for sure, because this was one of the best sessions on LinkedIn I've attended from past 1 year. I can at least say
Thank
that.
you so much, Nikhil, for having me. I really enjoyed sharing my knowledge. And as you said, please, guys, feel free to reach out. Again, please send a connection invite with a personalized note. I'll be able to accept it more quickly. I'll be able to respond to your thoughts. And as I said, don't hesitate. I mean, if you don't ask, answer is no. So I reply to each of my messages, even if it takes time, but I do, especially for students, because I have faced similar kind of dilemma. And trust me, I come from a tier 3 college. Okay. a tier 3 college. So that's like, I am not saying that, we can't create opportunities, but we know like a struggle a bit more when you come from a tier 2 or tier 3 college. So it's not that, just reach out to me, whatever questions you have, feel free to Instagram, LinkedIn, or even on my podcast. I'll be happy to help. And thank you once again, Nikhil, for having this wonderful session and having me. I really liked, interacting with all of you guys. So thank you, and I wish you very best.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, IIT Bombay.
Thank you very much, sir and Ashima, for joining us today. The session was really insightful, and as we can see in the chat, students really enjoyed it. Hearing from you was really refreshing and motivating. Thank you.
Thank you.